Four teams with one loss sit atop the Richardson Division of the Milwaukee City Conference, two of them squaring off here tonight. We're at Pulaski Stadium on Milwaukee's south side as we bring you a City Conference matchup between Milwaukee King and Milwaukee Riverside. Good evening, everyone. Along with Hall of Famer Terry Kelly, I'm John Weiser. Glad you could be along for our broadcast here tonight. And the rivalry continues between King and Riverside. The last several years have been some pretty good ball games.
Right, these two are always, competing for the title, and that's very important as you head into playoff contention.
And as we mentioned, that division, the Richardson division, a logjam right now. Four different teams sporting one loss.
Yeah, tonight one of those teams falls behind, and so it's going to be critical.
Interesting matchup between these two teams as far as offenses tonight. We're going to see a very much a ground game from King, and then a little different. We're going to see different quarterbacks in there for Riverside tonight.
Yeah, Riverside likes to employ two quarterbacks, something Coach Wagner believes in.
And King, ground game. We're going to see Nate White, the Badger recruit.
Nate White, prolific in terms of number of yards. He's gained number of touchdowns last year as well as this year.
Let's take a look at the kids we'll be watching here tonight. Some of the star players for both teams will start first for Riverside tonight. And offense, they're one of their quarterbacks, Tobias Jewell.
Tobias Jewell is the better, runner of the group and can make things happen.
And then we don't talk often about special team players, but Peter Jefferson, something else.
Coach Wagner says the best kicker he's had in entire career at Riverside.
Defensively for Riverside, Asiatic Spencer at linebacker.
Very active linebacker, creates havoc. And in the backfield, Jaden Pickett, outstanding defensive back going to North Dakota State on scholarship.
Well, and on King's side for offense, that's the Badger recruit, Nate White, the running back.
Nate White, also a track star, tremendous athlete.
Jackson King on the offensive line.
Veteran of that offensive line, tries to pull all the younger guys together.
Very good and young defense led by LaMarcus Vincent, the sophomore.
Yeah, Coach Wozniak says this is the heart and soul of our defense, only a sophomore.
Malik Robinson at defensive back, just a junior.
Just another guy that kind of roams center field, makes things happen.
Should be a great matchup here tonight. Weather's going to be nice. Crowd's going to be nice as well. Bob Brainerd's going to be along here in just a moment. He's pinch hitting for Mike McGivern tonight. He'll have both coaches. We'll talk about our matchup tonight when we continue with the Heiser Automotive Group Friday Night Rivals presented by Landmark Credit Union.
Key to go back in that room. Get the car because he was lazy. The guy walking.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Heiser Automotive Friday Night Rivals High School Football Game of the Week, presented by Landmark Credit Union. It's Rufus King taking on Riverside University in Milwaukee. Bob Brainerd along with the two combatants, the two head coaches, Tom Wozniak and Pat Wagner. Gentlemen, I know that this game usually the last few years has meant something in the Richardson division. It usually means something each and every year. It means something again tonight, doesn't it, Tom?
It sure does. Yep. This is a big rivalry game for us, so we're looking forward to it.
And you look at the standings, Pat, and it's a game that Tom wants to have and you want to have as well.
Oh, of course, yeah. Chance to win a conference title and obviously playoff seeding, and looking forward to that. So,
when I'm looking at the rosters and I'm looking at the talent, you guys both like to run the football. You like to play grind it out type of football, and of course, you have a special player, future Wisconsin Badger. How do you manage a kid like that so that he stays in check and that he focuses on his senior campaign and focuses on his high school career before the next step?
You know, that's really never been a problem with Nate. He's a great kid, and he has never once begged for the ball or complained about his role, or he doesn't, he thrives in the chance to block and run and all of those things that we're asking him to do. So, he's been focused the whole season.
Pat, certainly it's focusing on everything that Rufus King brings to the table. That's an individual, though, that you have to keep an eye on number 3, don't you?
oh, definitely, he's a phenomenal player. I'd say probably one of the best that we've ever seen in the city, as far as his overall talent-wise and his ability to produce and make runs on his own. And he's a special talent, definitely.
Pat, I know you've had players like him in the past, and you've had kids when you know they're getting ready to take that next step and play Division I football as well. How did you manage them? How did you keep them focused on the task at hand so that they can take that next step with a smooth transition?
It was really just what you said. It's discussing that the only thing that matters is right now, what you do right now, right? So if you give 100% effort, you stay focused, you're less likely to get injured, you're going to play better, and that just gives you that step up when you do go to the next level, that you've taken your game up a step through that whole senior season, right? And I think it's just a preparation part for those guys, that they understand that you want to have a great senior year will help you be a good freshman college football player.
All right, before we get to the task at hand, this football game tonight, gentlemen, tell me about what you do off the field to prepare these young men, not just for football, but for life as well, Tom.
Yeah. We're just trying to get these guys to understand, to be committed, take responsibility, and do what's important right now. And that's kind of our theme for our team, and hopefully they respond and take it to heart.
Yeah, probably things you echo with your team, right, Pat?
We do. We have character education every day for practice, I believe 5 minutes before our regular practice starts, especially after COVID. Like you saw, a little bit of disconnect, and we really needed that rebuild of what does it mean to be a positive role model in society? How do you make your life better? How do you make your family life better? And just what does it mean to be a outstanding young man in our community?
Thank you, gentlemen. Good luck to both of you tonight. John and Terry have the call when we come back on My 24.
Yep.
Yeah, I think they just announced that.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. Back at Pulaski Stadium on Milwaukee's south side as we get ready to renew a very strong rivalry here in the City Conference, Riverside and King. Right now we're going to step aside and enjoy our national anthem.
The national anthem.
Rufus King Pep Band with our national anthem tonight on Milwaukee's south side. Time now for the keys to the game. Coach, how do we have them drawn up tonight?
Well, Riverside has to make use of their excellent kicker, Peter Jefferson, and establish field position. They need to tackle well, obviously, Nate White, and they have to read their keys.
And for the Generals tonight?
King has to be able to react to all the various formations Riverside's going to employ. Their offensive line has to be dominant so they can free Nate White up, and they need to get off to a fast start. Didn't happen their last game. They need to do that this evening.
Riverside won the coin toss. They have deferred to the second half, so we'll see if that King offense can get off to a quick start here tonight. Riverside won their last two ball games. Shutouts over Bayview and Bradley Tech. Big scores in those games as well. Meanwhile, King coming off a loss last time out. 13-0.
Yeah, Coach Wozniak felt that they just did not execute well against Marshall, and that it really wound up costing them the game.
Well, we're going to get a look at that kicker for Riverside, Peter Jefferson. Again, our kickoffs brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Jefferson is senior, and Coach Wagner, he just loves this kid and the foot that he brings and the dimension that he brings to this game.
Like he says, there are kickers that have stronger legs, but as far as accuracy and being able to punt the ball where they need to put it and to make sure that the kickoffs get deep enough and accurately enough so that the cover team can get downfield.
Nate White, deep left, the Badger recruit. And they will kick it on the ground, keep it away from him. And it'll get covered up by one of the upmen. Looked like that was Ian Cranfeld stepped up to make that recovery. So they're not even going to bother with that return game. Let King have better field position. It'll be King ball at their own 37-yard line as we set the offense for you. Nate White, first-team All-Conference Offensive Player of the Year last season in the City Conference. He's a senior. He's headed to Madison next season. Actually played quarterback last year. The lineup in the slot. That's Joe Cannon in the slot. They'll toss it to White, trying to get the edge left side. White across midfield. White into Riverside territory. Whistle blew as the ball came out. It'll be a big gain for Nate White for the Generals.
You can see the speed that White has. I mean, last year he rushed for close to 1,200 yards, scored 20 touchdowns.
Here's the defense for Riverside tonight. Couple of changes in there. Isaiah Smith, Williams, Thurman, and Hamilton up front. That was a best electric service first down for White. Again, Cannon in motion. This time they will hand it off. Big gain inside the 30. Aaron Love, the fullback, on the carry, brought down by Jaden Pickett, the free safety for the Tigers, and another first down.
A year ago, Love was a second-team all-conference performer on the offensive line. They needed a fullback, and at 5'9", 225, strong runner, but also excellent lead blocker for White.
14-yard pickup and a best electric first down once again for the Generals, moving the football here on this opening drive. Run it up the middle, inside the 15-yard line. Once again, Nayron Love on the carry. Robert Houston and Tobias Jewell. Jewell playing both ways, making the stop.
One of the things we mentioned in keys to the game for King was having their offensive line be dominant. So far, they're getting excellent blocking. Number 77, Zion Thomas, Stephen Jeffries at the left guard, Ethan Julius at center, Jamison Bonds at right guard, and Jackson King out at right tackle.
Inside the Salvation Army red zone. They will spot it at the 13, 1st and 10 King. Again, Cannon in motion. And this is White, cuts back, breaks a couple of tackles. Helmet came out as he reaches inside the 10-yard line. Nate White on the carry, Nicholas Hamilton on the stop for the Tigers. Just inside the 10, a gain of about 3, sets up a second down, and we'll call it 7. The lineup, Nate White wide to the left here. He'll take it on the sweep. Inside the 10, breaks a couple of tackles, maybe the 8-yard line before he is set down there. Landis Daniels and Jaden Pickett both there for Riverside. So you're going to see various spots on that offense. We're going to see White. He'll line up in the backfield. He'll line up as a slot receiver. He'll line up as a wideout. Very versatile back. This time they'll split the backfield between Love and White. P.J. Meese, sophomore at quarterback. And they'll toss it to White. Big hole left side. He will scamper to the end zone. Touchdown, King. And there is a flag on the play, so maybe one of the reasons why there was a gaping hole on that left side.
Coach, you want that?
I don't think Coach Wagner had to think about that question.
Going to run, holding, offense. That's a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. Still third down.
Costly penalty takes points off the boards here for the King Generals.
Well, that quick toss has worked well so far for King.
They'll move the ball back to the 19-yard line. They'll run the draw to Cannon. Cannon caught from behind. Just a couple of yards. Nice open field tackle by Jordan Lemon, the outside linebacker, a senior for Riverside, able to make a nice play.
Yeah, Cannon's only a junior. He's 5'8", 175 on the year. He's got 167 yards rushing and 3 touchdowns.
Good job by James Clark, also forcing Cannon to take it the other way. We got a timeout, I believe, taken here by King. Their first timeout of the half. While we have a moment, we'll step aside. We'll visit with the fine folks from Landmark Credit Union.
Welcome to tonight's game. I'm Breon Nash, Digital Marketing Coordinator with Landmark Credit Union. Once again, Landmark Credit Union is proud to be a sponsor of the Friday Night Rivals Game of the Week on My 24. We're proud to show our support for local schools and to give back to the communities we serve. At Landmark Credit Union, our job is to be there for our members for every landmark moment. If it has to do with your life and your money, we can help. Visit us online or at one of our over 30 branches, including locations near the two schools planned tonight. You can learn more at landmarkcu.com.
Closed captioning tonight brought to you by LifeLock. LifeLock identity theft protection starts here.
Well, P.J. Meese is not known as only a sophomore as being a strong passer. He's kind of a facilitator. So it'll be interesting to see what Coach Wozniak and offensive coordinator Calvin Matthew decide to do here.
They have Nate White lined up, spread in the backfield here. And they'll put Meese out looking to throw. Threw it inside looking for White. Barely got a hand on it and will bring up a first down, turning it over on downs, facing that fourth down play. They elect to try a pass, and it goes incomplete.
Well, the penalty really, threw them off stride, and we talked about getting that fast start, and King was headed that way, but all of a sudden now they don't cash it in. We'll see what Riverside decides to do.
There's the Riverside offense. Again, Tobias Jewell, kind of a tandem at quarterback. And they have a couple of nice players in there. Jamiron Jackson, the running back. Got to keep an eye on tonight, too, along with the flanker, Jaden Pickett. That is Jackson in motion, lines up back in the backfield. And they will hand it up, running up the middle. Not much going that time for Marco Spalos, the junior, listed as the fullback, 5'11", 190 on that carry. And here's the King defense. Bennett Woods made that last stop.
Yeah, one of the things that they did just prior to kickoff, they decided they'd have an extra linebacker, and that's why Woods is in there, and they took out one of their safeties.
Gain of 4, 2nd and 6. First pass of the game. Jewell in traffic. Sliding grab at the 39-yard line. 17-yard pickup on the sliding catch by Jaden Pickett, the slick-looking senior for Riverside.
Well, Pickett is, excellent defender, excellent offensive player. He's mentioned at the top of the show, has a scholarship from North Dakota State.
Best electric service first down for Riverside. They'll go back to the ground. Not much there. Jamiron Jackson on the carry. Brought down by K.D. Williamson, the nose tackle.
Now only a sophomore, 5'11", 250 pounds.
We'll see that three-man front, as we said. They'll flip the linebacker off the edge on occasion, as they will do here. No gain on the play, 2nd down and 10. Pickett in motion. Jewell scrambling. Nowhere to go. Will make it to the sideline. LaMarcus Vinson able to chase him to the boundary for the King Generals, the inside linebacker.
That defensive coordinator, Stephen Brusky, says that Vincent, even though he's a sophomore, is the heart and soul of that defense. Already at 39 tackles on the year.
He was on the spy that time, keeping an eye on Jewell. Scrambled for a yard. It'll bring up 3rd and about 9 here for Riverside, just across their own 41-yard line. They'll try the jet sweep with Pickett around the right side. King had it read well, strung it out for no gain, may have lost a yard.
Yeah, the jet sweep, important part of the offense for Riverside.
Tuna Yang, the strong safety in there to make the stop, the 5'7" senior. And now Riverside facing a 4th down, and they will bring the punting unit on.
Yeah, we'll see Mr. Jefferson again and see what he's able to do in terms of pinning King deep into its own territory.
Ian Cranfield, the junior, back inside his own 30 for King. And now Riverside taking a timeout. They couldn't get aligned on special teams. So each team taking a timeout here early in this first quarter. Trying to get on the same page. You see Pat Wagner in the middle of that huddle. He has been a longtime coach at Riverside. You'll see we remarked as they came in that lettering on their helmets, they got the Riverside logo on one side, East Division on the other side of their helmets.
Which used to be.
That's exactly right.
Yeah, this is Coach Wagner's 25th year at Riverside.
A little old school with the East Division. Once again, Jefferson ready to punt. Cranfield standing inside the 30, awaits the kick. Gets this one off, a nice directional kick. Cranfield will pick up at the 21. Races to the near sideline across the 30 and out of bounds, short of the 40-yard line. Nice return by Cranfield. Delano Craig able to make the stop for Riverside, but a good field position once again here for King on their second possession. 6.5 minutes remaining in a scoreless first quarter.
Well, so far, offensive coordinator Calvin Matthew has tried to spread the ball around. White's gotten the majority of the carries, but Nayron Love, a couple good carries, and Joe Cannon.
We will take our commercial break here with 6.5 minutes to go here in the first quarter. Scoreless, King and Riverside from the City Conference. Our Heiser Automotive Friday Night Rivals presented by Landmark Credit Union. Yeah, check 1 2 1 2.
Check 1 2, check 1 2.
Getting
Terry.
a lot of popping in these mics
lot of
again.
Popping.
Weeknights, watch two of your favorite television families for some dinner time delights. First, it's an hour of the Goldbergs at 5. Then catch the Baxters on Last Man Standing at 6, only on My 24. John Weiser, Terry Kelly, Bob Brainerd in tonight for Mike McGivern. We wish Mike the best and hopefully gets well soon as he's missing our broadcast tonight. And a good defensive play by Riverside. Asiatic Spencer able to shut down White in the backfield for a loss inside the 35-yard line.
One of the things that the Riverside defense decided they were going to do, as soon as White starts to go in one direction, the side he's going to, they blitz that linebacker right through that hole, try to get him in the backfield.
Loss of 3, 2nd and 13. Their own 34-yard line. Second possession of the game for the Generals. In motion is LeGrant. And this is Nayron Love with a nice run across the 40 to the 44-yard line. Gain of about 10. He'll be short of the first down. Tobias Jewell, also the quarterback for Riverside. Defensive back here, able to make the play. Got in low and took him out. So third and a good 3 yards here for King. Their own 44-yard line. Hand it off once again, and Nayron Love will get the first down across midfield into Riverside territory to the 47-yard line. Gain of 9. Landis Daniels there on the stop, the inside linebacker.
Once again, as that back came in motion going to his right, the linebacker shot to that side, and what they did is they ran a quick trap back to the back side. Nayron was able to get that first down.
Best Electric Service sponsoring our first downs this season. Best Electric Service, connect with the best. Confusion. Meese going to scramble, and he is drilled at midfield. Once again, Asiatic Spencer, a nice open field tackle. Got back to the line of scrimmage. Well, this season we're going to highlight a hit of the game brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. So perhaps keep that one in the memory bank. They'll announce that in the fourth quarter tonight. The hit of the game brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Season just about to get underway. No gain, 2nd and 10. Again, they'll give it to Love. Nayron Love, not much. Maybe to the 45, make it the 44 of Riverside. Nicholas Hamilton, the defensive end, was there to make the play. It's featuring a little bit more of Nayron Love. He was second team all-conference, but on the offensive line last year. As you mentioned, asked to play fullback this year, and he is obliged, and I think gives them a nice compliment there between Nate White and Nayron Love.
Yeah, you have to do something to counter people focusing just on White.
And this is White breaking tackles. White down to about the 30-yard line, make it the 31. Gain of about 13 on the play. Landis Daniels again making the stop. One more look here. Good surge by that right side of the line.
Once again, White's not hesitant to take that ball up inside, and he keeps grinding away.
15 touchdowns on the season. Now over 800 yards rushing. Another Best Electric Service first down. He will get the call again. It'll be brought down in the backfield once again. Asiatic Spencer, second team all-conference, the senior linebacker. It's 3 nice open field tackles so far for the senior.
Yeah. One of the things Riverside's also done is they've taken their all-conference lineman, Larry Chin, from offense, put him in the middle of that defensive front.
2.5 minutes to go here in our first quarter. King drove inside the 10-yard line, but a holding call on third down took away a touchdown. And then they turned the ball over on downs, trying to get their second crack here. They'll pitch it. White trying to get the edge, and he's going to be stopped shy of the first down at the 25-yard line. Gain of about 5, make it 6. It'll set up third and short here for King. James Clark making his first tackle tonight for the Tigers.
And that's a good matchup. You've got White, an outstanding track performer, and James Clark from Riverside, also a track performer. So you've got to be able to match speed with speed. And he came from that inside out and filled. Excellent job by James Clark.
3rd and 5 now for the Generals. Ball at the 25-yard line of Riverside. Nayron Love going to be stopped in the backfield. Good defensive surge that time. A lot of black jerseys on that King offensive side of the ball. Larry Chin, who you pointed out, Coach, just came in, started to stack the middle of that line, able to step in and make a play.
Yeah, Chin was a first-team all-conference performer last year at center, and 6'1", 260. You can see here where the lack of a passing game really hurts King, and it's just something they have not been able to develop, and you only have a sophomore, with limited experience to use. So we'll see what they come up. The one pass play that Coach Wozniak and Calvin Matthew mentioned is might see a waggle pass, try to get some space outside.
They'll try and hand it off here on 4th down, and they're going to be stopped short again. Second straight drive, King comes up empty. Nate White stopped well shy of the first down. Spencer and Carson both there. And so Riverside has withstood King on a couple of nice drives. They've come up big when they needed to.
Yeah, you're getting yardage, but you're not getting points. And this is a little bit what hampered King against Marshall a week ago.
So Riverside will take over on downs at their own 23-yard line. And now a flag before the snap. We'll get the call here. Got a false
offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
Let's head down to the sideline. Our first visit tonight with Bob Brainerd.
Pinch hitting, gentlemen, for Mac. We wish him well. Hey, in the huddle with Pat Wagner and the Riverside Tigers, after the first offensive series, he talked to the offensive line and said, we can pass on this team all night long. Not the big bombs, but the short stuff, the over-the-middle stuff, but it all starts with line protection. He wants the line to give his quarterback time to open it up a little bit more. Pass right there to get things started. So while both teams like to run the football tonight, guys, look for the Tigers to try to exploit some openings in the middle of the field. Pat Wagner wants to see it more aerial attack tonight.
Good observation, Bob. We will keep an eye on that. We had a flag on that last play. So back-to-back penalties here on first down. Final 30 seconds of this first quarter.
One thing that offensive coordinator Chris Cummings, along with Pat Wagner, decided to do is they've taken Tobias Jewell, moved him out as a
Going
receiver.
to run.
They have
Personal
Jalen
foul.
Britton
Face
now
mask.
in at quarterback.
Defense. That's a 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. Results in a first down.
Costly penalty on King. That's two very costly penalties tonight on the Generals. One took a touchdown off the board on their first drive, and now this one, 1st and 15, a face mask penalty, moves the ball out across the 36-yard line for Riverside. There's Coach Wozniak there in the headset and ball cap, walking over to the bench area. So 1st and 10 for Riverside. This is Jalen Britton at quarterback. And they're going to let the quarter run out here. And it does. A scoreless first quarter here at Pulaski Stadium. King and Riverside on My 24. Quarter number 2 set to begin here at Pulaski Stadium with Bob Brainerd on the sideline. Terry Kelly, John Weiser up in the booth tonight. City Conference football tonight from the Richardson Division, a jammed Richardson Division. 4 teams with 1 loss, 2 of them here tonight, King and Riverside. Riverside from their own 37 here, going left to right. And on first down, they're going to air it out. And it's caught over the middle inside the 40 and wrestled down near the 35-yard line. That is Tobias Jewell out there at wide receiver. Malik Robinson there to make the tackle. There's that short passing game over the middle.
And we mentioned earlier on that they like this idea of 2 quarterbacks so that they can play to each of their strengths. That way, if something happens partway through the season, you do have somebody that's got experience. Coach Wagner believes in it. Offensive coordinator Chris Cummings finds a way then to utilize, like we see Tobias Jewell out there as a wide receiver.
He is split out to the far side. Once again, they'll go to the air. And again, they complete a bubble screen here to the near side, but covered well by the King defense. It was led by Tuna Yang and Malik Robinson, both there on the outside edge, blowing up that what would have been a bubble screen here to the near side of Jeremiah Brown.
Yeah, it's a big offensive line for Riverside. Tyrone Covington, 275 pounds. Damon Thurman, 165. Chin at center is 260. Roberts is 390 at the right guard, and Pittman is 300 at the right tackle.
Gain of 1 on the play, 2nd down and 9. Cornell Tate lined up in a slot here to the near side along with Jeremiah Brown. Spencer and Jewell split out to the far side. From the shotgun, gets it away. Looking down the near sideline, it is incomplete, intended for Jeremiah Brown. Well covered by Tuna Yang, this cornerback for, or the safety I should say, for King.
That time King, Steve Brusky sent a linebacker in. Number 23, Corey Johnson, was able to put some pressure on Britton.
Key 3rd down here for Riverside, 3rd and 9. At the general 36-yard line. They will run it up the right side. And going to be close. Might be short here of the first down. Marco Sabalos, the fullback, getting the call that time. Ian Cranfeld along with Bennett Woods, both there to make the stop. It's going to bring up a 4th and 1 here. Are they going to bring the sticks in for a measurement? Looks like close enough to bring in the measurement. We get a look at the defensive coordinator there, Steve Brusky. And it is enough for a first down, so they will move the chains. The best electric service first down. Riverside's drive continues at the King 26-yard line. Keep it on the ground with the quarterback, Jalen Britton, on the gain that time. LaMarcus Vincent, the inside linebacker, along with K.D. Williamson, able to make the tackle.
Yeah, both teams have been, utilizing blitzing linebackers to try to take away the run offense from each other. We'll see if Chris Cummings and Pat Wagner come up with something to take advantage of that. Maybe a little drag pattern right over the area where the linebacker vacates.
2nd and 7, whistles before the snap. Another timeout taken by Riverside, their 2nd of the half. Still looking for our first points in this ball game. We're early in the second quarter. We mentioned the logjam in that Richardson division. Hamilton, King, Riverside, and Marshall all with 1 losses coming into the game here tonight. Let's head down to the sideline, our Salvation Army interview, and here is Bob Brainerd.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. I'm with Amy Hand, Media Relations Director for the Salvation Army. Amy, technically it's still September, but it feels like October, and that means Christmas is just around the corner. So folks get busy at the Salvation Army when we start mentioning Christmas.
Yes, we are so excited for the Christmas season. We have so many volunteer opportunities coming up. We have bell ringing open on samilwaukee.org. We have toy shop sign up, Coats for Kids sign up. So lots of activities coming up soon.
Certainly you want everyone to donate to the Salvation Army, not just during Christmas, but year-round. But you mentioned the volunteers. If everybody's donating, you need the volunteers to help with the whole process, don't you?
Yes, we could not do anything that we do without volunteers. So it's so important to rally them and get them involved this season.
It's important. Is it easy to volunteer? That's the question people want to know. Can you make it easy for me to volunteer and help out?
Yes, so if you volunteer to ring at the Red Kettles, just 2 hours of your time it will take. And all of the money raised at the Red Kettles goes right back to the community in Milwaukee County.
Please tell the folks that are out there and they want to know, how can I volunteer? Where do they go to sign up? How do you make it easy for them to volunteer?
So if you'd like to volunteer, you can sign up on samilwaukee.org.
There you go. It's just that easy. Amy, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Back to you guys, and happy holidays, by the way.
Early. You got it in early. Thank you, Bob. I appreciate that. Almost 9:10 to go here in this third quarter. Clock winding here. Third and a good 7 here for Riverside. Taking a long time to get this play going here. Just inside the 25-yard line. 2-by-2 are the receivers. They're going to put it up. Britton with some time. Over the middle, and it's incomplete. Could have been intercepted. The nearest receiver was actually the defensive back, Nate White. Intended for the other number 3 out there for Riverside. That was James Clark. Get a good look here. They picked up the blitz nicely, allowed some time there. Pass just short and late.
Hey, Coach Wagner just said something to Jaden Pickett, number 12. Out there, he'll be lining up as a flanker. See if they do that jet sweep motion to try to get a flood pattern to that wide side of the field.
That's what they're going to try and do. And that is a loose ball picked up on the far sideline. And that was taken away by Ian Cranfield. Now, was that a forward pass or was that a lateral? The officials have not ruled yet. We'll take another look on our replay here. I believe that's got to be a forward pass.
That's what it looked like. If it had been sideways straight down the line of scrimmage, it would have been okay.
Either way, King will get the ball here. However, there's a flag.
Offense, loss of down, turnover down, Rufus King ball from the previous spot.
So he was across the line of scrimmage when he floated that one out. So the illegal forward pass. And the Generals will take over on downs. Just under 8.5 minutes to go here in our first half.
Now, both teams have started to get near that red zone, but neither of them been able to cash in. Have to see, how this plays out. You don't want to blow opportunities.
Well, King has had the best of the opportunities. Actually had a touchdown taken off on their opening drive tonight because of a holding penalty.
More discussion going on.
Let's see if they go back on the ground here and see if they get White some touches here. And mostly Nayron Love, the fullback, on carries tonight.
Field discussion going on.
Seems to be a question as to where they're going to spot the football here.
That was fourth down, so change of possession. Rufus King ball. First down, 10 yards to go.
And the officials get this sorted out. They'll move the ball up to about the 27-yard line.
27-yard line.
That's where King will start this drive. And a bobbled handoff that time. White was able to control it that time. Didn't quite get a good grip on it. Damian Thurmond, defensive tackle there to make the stop.
You mentioned a little earlier that last year Nate White had been the quarterback, but they thought they could better utilize his skill set running back. So you've got that sophomore in there, doesn't have quite the experience, and that's something that, you know, as the season progresses, you kind of hope, okay, he'll evolve.
Movement on the left side. Thomas Vandenberg, the tight end, pulled out of his stance.
Back up, White. Back up, White. Prior to the snap, false start, offense. That's a 5-yard penalty, still second down.
Moving the ball back to the 27.5-yard, right around the 27.
Move it back to about the 27, 28-yard line. We'll call it 2nd and 11. 7:45 to go here in this first half. Penalties have plagued King here tonight. Riverside showing blitz. 9 men in the box here. They'll try and get it outside. And this is good play. Marcus LeGrant with his first carry, and once again Spencer, Asiatic Spencer, his 5th tackle here in this first half.
We mentioned that Asiatic was extremely active inside for Riverside, and he's really made his presence felt.
Presence of mind to kind of filter out the blockers, fight off the blocking and look for the ball carrier, and those are traits you really love in an inside linebacker. He's moving well tonight. No gain, 3rd and 11 here from the 28-yard line. White trying to get the edge here. Breaks a couple of tackles, now heads up the field. And he is driven down near the 35-yard line, short of the first down. Tobias Jewell again able to make a nice open field tackle. And the Generals this time will send the punting unit on.
Well, Riverside's employing a 4-2 defense, and they've got 5 backs that they kind of line up. In some cases, they're kind of double cover White when he's to the outside, put pressure on, you know, finding different ways to negate his effectiveness.
Ian Cranfield will punt. Delano Craig is standing inside his own 35. Low snap. Cranfield gets off a nice driving punt. Drives the returner back and out of bounds at about the 32-yard line. No return. And that will be our break here in this second quarter. 5:51 to play in this first half. We're still looking for our first points. King and Riverside, a city conference battle tonight on Friday Night Rivals. They've been saving people and hunting things that go bump in the night since 1972. A supernatural love story with blood, guts, and monsters begins Tuesday, October 11th with the new series, The Winchesters, on CW 18. Good field position here for Riverside to start this drive. Their own 32-yard line. Scoreless first half here at Pulaski Stadium. They'll try it on the ground. Nothing there. Tried to go with the Cornell Tate at the running back, and LaMarcus Vincent blew that play up. Loss of 1. Good job filling the hole that time. There's Pat Wagner. 25 years at Riverside.
Well, they've been keeping Britton in at the quarterback position and still employing Tobias Jewell out as a wide receiver. See if they go back to that passing game, which was starting to be effective.
Jewell is split to the left side. They'll actually stack 2 receivers to that left side. They'll run it again. Nearly fumbled that time. I think that ball may have come out, but recovered right away by the running back, Tate. One more look. Juggled that handoff. It did come out. And he was able to pounce on it and keep that away. There for King was Jaden Johnson. He was right there, almost ready to scoop that ball up as well. So now quickly 3rd and 11 here. Britton far side and unable to run underneath it was the wide receiver, Jeremiah Brown. Tuna Yang was the man in coverage with Brown that time. Well, all this season, touchdowns are brought to you by Planet Fitness, the judgment-free zone. We have yet to call a touchdown here tonight. We're still searching for our first points. Peter Jefferson will punt, the senior for Riverside. Cranfield is standing near his own 40, and this will be a line drive punt. Cranfield will get away from it and will roll dead just inside the King 30-yard line. Late here in the second quarter. Neither team able to take advantage of good field position here tonight.
Yeah, each team has been, plagued by a couple of ill-timed penalties, a couple of bobbles holding on to the ball. I don't know whether the importance of the game is kind of working on people's mentality. See what happens here.
Well, Hamilton leads the Richardson at 4-1, just a half game ahead of King, Riverside, and Marshall, all at 3-1. And you got to get to 4 wins to be playoff eligible. So a lot riding here. And then in 2 weeks, you've got the crossover. Who wants to play Vincent in that crossover?
Yeah, if Vincent's got a game this week. Who's it they run into? Forget. Tom Swiddle has gone over to Vincent. Long-time
nice
coach.
There was a penalty on that punt, evidently. It moves the football inside the 20-yard line. Yeah, Tom's doing a nice job with that Vincent program, and they're tops in the Blackburn division. 1st and 10, King. They'll try and run it. Their first big run of the game. Nice burst, 11-yard run on the carry. Robinson, I believe, his first carry tonight.
Yeah, Malik wasn't listed
No.
as one of our guys we were counting on seeing this evening. So
Coach Wozniak may be looking for a little spark back there in the running game.
Calvin Matthew, their offensive coordinator, is also a track coach, so maybe he knows the speed.
Runs up the middle there. A couple of nice gains here. Just pounding it between the tackles here.
Right tackle Jackson King and left guard Stephen Jeffries are the veterans of this group, and they've got a senior, Ethan Julius, at center. Did not play his sophomore and junior years, came back this year, got a sophomore at the right guard, junior out at left tackle Zion Thomas.
White trying to turn the corner, slowed up, got across the line of scrimmage for a couple. And should have enough for a first down. And they will move the chains. Another Best Electric Service first down. Under 3 minutes to go here in this first half. From the 43, 1st and 10. White, nice cut. Check that was not White, that was Marcus LeGrant. Weren't sure we were going to see him. You see that big foamy cast on that right elbow.
Yeah, he has. It's quite the cast, and they have to cover all the metal parts of that. He's also a guy that plays two ways sometimes, so they've been missing him. They have to see, how well he's going to be holed up.
Takes it out to midfield, about 3 yards shy of the first down as we approach 2 minutes to play here in this first half.
King's not a quick strike offense, but they're dipping under 2 minutes.
Again, they'll run it, and Robinson will get the first down and more to the Riverside 40-yard line. 10-yard pickup. Well, maybe they found something here, and Youngster in his first 3 carries here on this drive. Once again, closed captioning tonight brought to you by LifeLock. LifeLock identity theft protection starts here. From the Riverside 40, 1st and 10 Generals. This is White. Inside the hash, takes it down about the 35, a 5-yard pickup for the Badger recruit. Isaiah Smith able to make the stop. And I think King's going to take a timeout here, their second of the half. So each team down to 1 timeout remaining here. And coming up in halftime tonight, it's our National Guard halftime report. We're going to highlight this week's Scholar Athlete nominees from both King and Riverside. And we'll also meet our Landmark Booster of the Game Award recipients. That's all coming up on the Wisconsin Army National Guard halftime report here on Friday Night Rivals. We're a minute 22 away from that. Again, King on their first drive had an apparent touchdown, but it was taken away by a penalty, and that's led to this scoreless first half.
Well, the thing that's changed the rhythm here a little bit for King is Malik Robinson, who's a linebacker. They put him into the backfield. I think they're hoping that if he keeps having that success, maybe that'll detract from focusing as much attention on Nate White, and maybe they can free him up. That is their quick strike offense, getting White.
Again, they've only attempted 28 passes this season. This would be a nice move by LeGrant. He will take it down close to a first down at the 30-yard line, and King in a hurry up here. James Clark with the tackle. And it will be enough for a first down.
Yeah, the Chain Gang's had a difficult time tonight keeping up with first downs. Coach Wozniak was trying to get that group to hustle up to the line of scrimmage, but they had not gotten the chains reset.
Now they'll roll the clock, minute 10 to go. kind of a mix-up on the handoff, but White gets it inside the 20. White still on his feet inside the 15-yard line. Landis Daniels there to make the tackle.
That was
First
really
there by Nate White.
Really a busted play. Everything got discombobulated. He kept his wits about him. You can see he's got quick hips, cuts back, keeps driving forward.
And dinged up just a little, playing with a groin injury here tonight, but no ill effects there as they give it to Malik Robinson. He'll get chopped up down to about the 10-yard line. We're inside the Salvation Army red zone. This season, when a team gets inside their opponent's 20, they enter the Salvation Army red zone. Salvation Army doing the most good. Visit them online at samilwaukee.org. In about 3, 2nd and 7 coming up here for King. Half a minute to go. Another busted play, and P.J. Meese nowhere to go. Host of Tigers there to bring him down. And again, the clock stopped here. King will take their final timeout here. So the Generals out of timeouts with 16 seconds to play in the half. One more look. I believe that was Larry Chin got in there first.
I don't know if that was a case where Malik Robinson, being not a regular in that backfield, found things, he wasn't quite on the same page with the quarterback. Situation now, you almost have to throw the ball. You don't have an option with only 16 seconds left and it being 3rd down.
Yeah, you almost have to try and get this one in the end zone, because if you come up short and stay in bounds, Riverside's certainly not going to call the timeout. White in the backfield. P.J. Meese will line up under center. We'll bring Ian Cranfield in now as a wide receiver. They'll toss it to White, trying to get the edge here on the near side, and gets out of bounds just inside the 10-yard line. It'll stop the clock with 10 seconds to play. Short of the first down, so it'll bring up another 4th down situation here for Rufus King. 0 for 2 on 4th downs tonight. Looks like they're going to try the field goal here.
Tuna Yang is their field goal kicker.
It will go off the left hash. It'll be a 26-yard attempt. Jamison Bonds is the long snapper. Ian Cranfield is the holder. The spot, the kick is no good. Lost his footing as he drove into the football. Did not get much on it. And so for the second time tonight, King is turned away in the red zone. Their opening drive tonight got them inside the 10-yard line, and White got into the end zone, but the play called back because of a holding call. And here, the missed field goal by Tuna Yang. So Riverside, I would think, would take the knee here. Go in the locker room, Coach. 6 seconds
only
left.
6 seconds. It's a case here where if you look at the statistic at the end of the game, it could give you a false feeling of what's going on. King has certainly racked up some yardage, but once again, you're not closing the deal.
Similar last week in that 13-0 loss to Milwaukee Marshall. They moved the ball, just could not punch it in. Jewell in at quarterback here. We'll just go down, and our half will come to an end here at Pulaski Stadium. Or will it? Let's see. That is the end of our second quarter here. A scoreless first half. The two arch rivals in the Richardson division, Milwaukee King, Milwaukee Riverside, scoreless after a half. We'll be back with our Wisconsin Army National Guard halftime report right after this. You're watching the Heiser Automotive Group Friday Night Rivals presented by Landmark Credit Union.
Mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4.
And welcome into our Wisconsin Army National Guard halftime report here on My 24. Scoreless battle so far between King and Riverside. Well, tonight we'd like to highlight our Scholar Athlete nominees brought to you by the great folks at GlaxoSmithKline. From Rufus King High School, we have Stevenson Jeffries. Stevenson participates in football, wrestling, and track and field, carries a 3.6 GPA. He is a 2-year varsity football starter and is expected to be an all-conference selection this season. Stevenson was a city conference wrestling champion as well as a regional wrestling champion at his weight class and was selected all-conference as a discus thrower in track. He gives back to the school and community by volunteering his time to the Rufus King Hall of Fame as well as other Rufus King athletics when he is not competing. King AD Jeremy Nichols says Stevenson is a wolf in sheep's clothing, quiet and unassuming, but he outworks everyone on the team, and his class schedule is filled with the most challenging courses King offers. From Riverside High School, we have Javante Rodriguez. Javante competes in football, wrestling, and rugby, carries a 3.8 GPA. He is a member of the Riverside High School Honor Roll as well as a member of Youth Empowered in the Struggle, helping to highlight immigrants' rights. Javante is also a member of the Black and Latino Male Leadership Association, along with being voted president of the junior class and is part of Student Council. So congratulations to this week's Scholar Athlete nominees. Our weekly nominees will be in the running to receive a part of $5,000 in scholarship funds provided by the great folks at GlaxoSmithKline. Scoreless here after one half of play. Moon over Pulaski tonight is what we have. And we head down to the field. Time now, I believe, for our Landmark booster of the game.
Guys, thanks so much. Our partners at Landmark Credit Union, proud to serve and support our local communities. And tonight, honored to recognize an individual who's dedicated 19 years of his career to guiding and serving student athletes at Riverside High School, and still to this day continues to show incredible support of high school athletics. At this time, proud to introduce the Landmark Credit Union booster of the game, former athletic director, right here, Rick Johnson. Rick, as a token of Landmark's appreciation for your hard work and dedication, they want to present you with a gift, along with $500 donation to the Booster Club in your name so that you and others like you can continue to support the great things the Booster Club does for student athletes. On behalf of everyone at Landmark Credit Union, we thank you, Rick. Thank you so much for 19 years and counting.
Thank you very much, and Riverside will use the money to good.
Appreciate it. That's Rick Johnson. Back to you guys up in the booth.
Bob, thank you so much. Thanks to our fine folks at Landmark Credit Union once again for our Booster of the Game award again this season. We're at halftime, scoreless between Riverside and King. The Wisconsin Army National Guard halftime report rolls on here at Pulaski Stadium. A scoreless first half between the King Generals and the Riverside Tigers. We head back downstairs to Bob Brainerd doing our Wisconsin Army National Guard interview.
Indeed. I'm with Sergeant First Class Anthony Davenport from the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Now, you told me you were born in Chicago, but you made it clear that this is the old neighborhood. You went to Riverside High School, didn't you?
I did. I graduated from Riverside University High School a long time ago. Don't ask me when. But, yep, I'm a native of Milwaukee, and now I'm recruiting for the Wisconsin National Guard out of my high school as an alumni. It's great.
So picture yourself when you were back at Riverside and you were a Tiger and you were a young man trying to make the decision on the next step going forward. What was that like for you, and what is it like for young men who are facing that same decision?
For me, it was an easy choice. I wanted to do something between high school and college that gave me a little bit of purpose. And for the young men and women that are graduating high school today, you know, instead of taking a year off to find themselves, I think they should come to our organization and let us teach them some leadership skills, give them some purpose, patriotism, and give them a passion for why we do what we do.
When you recruit, what are the questions? Because young people always have questions. What are the questions they have for your organization?
Most of the questions I get are, how old do I have to be, and things like that. So for juniors and high school seniors, 17 years old and a junior in school, and they're ready to rock and roll with us. And we teach them a lot of different things, life skills that you never would imagine, self-aid, CPR, how to manage a checkbook. You know, it's a variety of things that we teach them.
Checkbook. You and I will talk later. Okay. Anthony, thank you so much.
Appreciate it. Have a good day.
You as well. Football. Second half football just around the corner on my 24, ladies and gentlemen.
Scoreless first half here in Milwaukee at Pulaski Stadium. Riverside and King. Down to the sidelines we go. Our U.S. Marine interview. Here's Bob.
Yeah, I'm with Nate Blackwell. Nate and I go way back to this past summer. But before we get to that, tell me why it's important for the U.S. Marines to partner with high school football, our broadcast, but also these young men that are on the field every Friday night.
Yeah, so coming out of the pandemic, especially right now, our communities are facing a lot of obstacles, a lot of challenges out there for our youth. And so what we want to do is come alongside coaches, teachers, community leaders, and partner with them for the productive development of our youth. Their success is important, whether they want to be a part of our organization or not. We want to be part of their story.
Now, Nate and I met this past summer in Oshkosh at the Wisconsin Football Coaches Association All-Star Game. Both these head coaches, longtime head coaches, Tom and Pat, they're a part of that Coaches Association. And you're a part of it because of the money that is raised and the fact that you guys want to partner not only with the Football Coaches Association, but up the ante beginning next year.
That's correct. Yeah, I think they were able to cut checks for around $350,000. My staff has been talking through plans on ways that we can come along the students that are selected that do majority of the fundraising, so we can help them with that and double it.
I love the initiative. I love the thought. Nate, we'll see you next summer. Good luck with your effort.
All right, thank you.
Back to you guys upstairs.
Bob, thank you so much. Time now for our highlights from this first half, and really it's just the ground game of King and perhaps the passing game of Riverside, but no score.
Yeah, it's, you see the ball getting pitched to Nate White, uses his speed to get to the outside, but unfortunately once they got down into the heart of the territory, weren't able to put it across.
Another good run here by Wisconsin recruit. He'll be headed to Madison next year.
Then they saw Nayron Love, a little change of pace, feed it to the fullback. Linemen love that chance to carry the ball.
Yes, they do. Riverside, really not much there either. They did get off a couple of nice pass plays, such as this one here to Jewell.
One quarterback throwing to the other quarterback, and then we see Asiatic Spencer getting in there. He was a thorn in the side of King all night.
Couple of nice open field tackles, as you saw there. How about this one for a TFL? It is, as it's advertised, a scoreless first half as we head back downstairs to Bob Brainerd.
All right, I'm with Bobby Kelsey, Commissioner of Athletics for MPS. Tell you what, we all get in summer mode, right?
We do.
And then school starts and sports starts, and it gets crazy. How crazy has it been for you and your staff?
I mean, it's been the normal crazy. It hasn't been too crazy. Our teams are playing hard. Folks are here to watch the game, have a good time, and we're looking forward to a good finish to this game.
I grew up in this neighborhood long time ago, but this facility and others at MPS, the improvements, it's noticeable. These student athletes have terrific places to go and practice and play their athletic events.
They do. We've gotten a lot of support from the pro leagues. NFL donated a grant for this field, and others have pitched in. So I haven't been in an area where there's 4 turf stadiums for these kids here. So it's nice to have it.
Terrific, Bobby. Thanks, and it's only just begun, but keep it rolling.
We will do that. Thank you very much.
It's Bobby Kelsey. Back to you guys upstairs.
Bobby and Bob, thank you so much. Second half set to come your way. Third quarter action from Pulaski Stadium when we return on My 24. Ready to go with our third quarter from Pulaski Stadium. Bob Brainerd pinch hitting for Mike McGivern. We wish Mike speedy recovery. Hope he is back with us next week. Terry Kelly, John Weiser up in the booth as Riverside will get the ball to start this second half.
Bob Brainerd mentioned that he had heard Pat Wagner discussing with his offensive group the fact that they really felt the pass was open. Let's see if they try to get that going right away after they take the kickoff.
Tuna Yang ready to kick it off here for King to start our second half. And our kickoffs are brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Short kick. Nice return out across the 40-yard line. Marcus Vincent able to bring down the ball carrier Landis Daniels. So we'll see which quarterback will start this second half for Riverside. Looks like it maybe Tobias Jewell. He is in there. Cornell Tate will also race in now. From the 41-yard line, our first snap from scrimmage here in the second half. And it's a draw. Jewell will get a couple. Couldn't get out of the grasp that time of LaMarcus Vincent. Vincent with a nice tackle. Just a sophomore, climbing over 40 tackles on the year. He's also forced a couple of fumbles, has one fumble recovery. The motor, the engine that drives this defense.
2 tackles for loss on the season as well. 6'1", 185, excellent size for a linebacker.
Second down and 9. Jewell comes back near side, not much gain there. Jeremiah Brown with the reception, but was wrapped up immediately by Nate White. Out to about the 45-yard line. It'll bring up a 3rd and 6 here for Riverside.
White, a strong student, 3.34 GPA. Also involved in track, was hampered a little bit last year by a hamstring injury. I'm sure the Badgers look forward to having him be part of their program.
Critical 3rd down here for Riverside. 3rd and long. Trips to the left side here. They'll run out of it, but not to be fooled was the defensive end, Jaden Johnson. He was right there as if he was in the huddle. He knew what play was coming.
Steve Brusky, the defensive coordinator, thought his defensive front had good speed and could move very well, and they would try to, get their athletes doing some slanting and some stemming.
So a 3 and out to open up this third quarter for Riverside. Jefferson in to kick. Cranfield standing deep. Another good kick. Cranfield let it hit the turf. And will roll dead at the 26-yard line. Rufus King, who's been able to move the ball between the 30s tonight, really, and it's getting inside the red zone. They have not been able to capitalize. Our closed captioning brought to you tonight by LifeLock. That's LifeLock. Identity theft protection starts here.
King had over 160 yards of offense in the first half, but as you pointed out, nothing to show for it.
Split backfield. Love, and a nice run out across the 40. Aaron Love, the fullback. Jaden Pickett got in the way of that tackle. Tough guy to bring down. 5'9", 225.
Strongest man in the team. Benches 275, squats 335, and deadlifts 385.
Best Electric Service first down. Love gets the call again. Down about the 47-yard line. Gain of about 3, maybe 4 on the play for Nayron Love. Asiatic Spencer, 9th tackle tonight.
Busy night for that young man.
Business booming at that linebacker spot tonight.
Well, when we ask coaches, whom should we feature as players, and they always try to find people that they think are key to their success. And Asiatic Spencer has certainly been doing that.
Senior linebacker with 9 tackles tonight. This is Nate White slashing his way across midfield. He'll pick up the first down to the 39 of Riverside. Nate White hampered a little bit, nicked up, a little leg injury going into this game here tonight, but showing no ill effects there. That's his biggest run of the night.
Well, he has nice balance. You can see how quickly he shifts directions. Track speed, but doesn't run the football like a track guy. Runs like a football guy.
1st and 10 from the 38. A Best Electric Service first down. He'll get the call again. Riverside ready, though. The Tiger defense buckles down. Gain of 1. Damian Thurman led the charge that time from his defensive line position.
Yeah, Damian was a first team all-conference selection on offense last year for Pat Wagner's Rufus King Generals. Riverside Tigers.
2nd and 9 from the 37. White picks his way around the far side and angles out of bounds near the 25-yard line. They'll say he was stopped in play. Forward progress stopped in play, but back judge comes racing in here. Evidently a flag thrown. It's down near the 20-yard line.
Going to run, personal foul, face mask, defense. That's 15 yards, added to the end of the run. First down.
Big penalty against Riverside. Boy, it will move the football into the Salvation Army red zone here for King. 3rd time tonight they've reached the red zone.
Once again, Riverside's countering what's happening. Defensive coordinator Terrell Freeman has sent Larry Chin, 6'1", 260-pound center, back into the middle of this defensive line.
White and Love in the backfield. It's White again, right side to about the 5. Spencer, his 10th tackle in there for Riverside.
I see that Riverside is in one of those teams that puts helmet decals on for what you do. If they were awarded Spencer for the number of tackles you'd have, I don't think you'd see any color on the helmet.
Kind of like Ohio State with those little Buckeyes all over the helmet. They'd run out of room. All over the field. 2nd and goal. Flag, though. Play whistle dead.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense. That's a 5-yard penalty, still 2nd down.
2nd penalty tonight in the red zone against King.
You talk about shooting yourself in the foot, and I'm sure that Coach Wozniak is pulling his hair out. Longtime coach at Milwaukee King, also their head baseball coach.
We got a baseball coach up here in the booth. A very good one, yeah.
He believes in using the tee. I know that's been a big part of his offensive strategy.
Sean Raffaelli, our spotter. The big guy gets inside. Malik able to run that football. He's been a kind of the turning point here tonight, putting him in the backfield. Robinson now, 5 carries for 23 yards? A little more than that.
Yeah.
Now here's a critical down. 3rd and goal, just inside the 5. Your 3rd trip into the red zone, the Salvation Army red zone tonight for King. Still looking for their first points tonight. White has some room. Touchdown, Rufus King. 16th touchdown of the year for Nate White. And finally, King capitalizes in the red zone.
Ran to that right side behind Jackson King, the 325-pound senior. Jamison Bonds at guard, 285. Ethan Julius, the center, at 300.
Planet Fitness touchdown, our first one of the game tonight for either team. And the extra point is on the way, and it is good. King on their first possession of the second half takes it into the end zone. 7-0 Generals. We'll take a break. This is the Heiser Automotive Group Friday Night Rivals, presented by Landmark Credit Union. My 24 is welcomed a new show to the daytime lineup that will have you talking. Karamo Brown gives insightful advice to his guests while exploring a variety of subjects. Watch Karamo weekdays at 10 here on My 24. 7-0 King. 71-yard drive capped off by the touchdown run by Nate White. Our kickoff's brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. They use a tee, but they also employ a holder on the kickoffs. Cranfield, who holds on the extra points and field goals. Not sure why, but hey, if it works, right, Coach?
Utilitarianism.
And this kick will bounce to the sideline and out of bounds. Good field position once again for the Tigers tonight. They have not taken advantage of that.
Tight game. You know, your special teams are critical, and you hate to give good field position to Riverside here. We keep talking about whether Riverside is going to start to utilize the pass Coach Wagner thought was available to him, but we'll see what they have cooked up.
They will start this drive at their own 35-yard line with that kickoff going out of bounds. This time it'll be Jalen Britton at quarterback. So it looks like they will try an air attack here. They will hand it off, however. Jamiron Jackson nowhere to go. General defense coming up big on first down. Corey Johnson, inside linebacker, stepped in to make that play. Great job.
Came in.
Big loss back to the 28-yard line. Loss of 7. 2nd and 17.
Now we mentioned that Rufus King was going to employ extra linebackers, take out one of the DBs.
Confusion trying to line up here, and Pat Wagner forced to take a timeout. Just like the first half, used a couple of timeouts early. Has to take one early here in the third quarter. "25 years at Riverside High School."
Well, I'm sure Coach Wagner is saying, we're being our own worst enemy here. We want to establish a rhythm, and now either penalties or missed assignments or failure to know where to line up, that's costing us.
It's also a matter of trust. Trust the call. Even if you see something different, trust what we've got called here. It's going to counter whatever defense they're showing.
Sometimes you don't know if he's talking to his guy up in the booth or talking to himself, trying not to go nuts.
As a coach, you would know what that's like, right? Were there times you were talking to yourself?
I was accused of doing a lot of things.
Second and 17 from 28. Confusion on the handoff. It's on the ground. I believe Britton for the second time tonight able to fall on that loose ball.
I think K.D. Williamson was one of the guys that broke through there. Looks like maybe exchanging some unpleasantries there.
Well, you forced yourself into a third and very long situation here.
One of the things we've noticed, throughout the evening is, Riverside takes a long time getting that play started.
3rd and 23. Back judge is already counting down. Just got that play away. Over the middle, 2 receivers there. It falls incomplete. Oh my goodness. Brown and Johnson in there. Somebody didn't have the right route there, as there were 2 receivers within 3 yards of each other. Cornell Tate, one of them out there. So a dismal drive here for Riverside, losing yardage.
I think King would like to see Ian Cranfield able to field this punt, get some headway upfield.
Jefferson gets it quickly away. Another good kick. Taken at the 47, down the far sideline is Cranfield. And he is drilled as he gets to the 25-yard line.
It's like right on cue. We said, field that ball, get it upfield.
29-yard return. We'll head back downstairs. Bruce Janczak is Bob's guest from Best Electric Service.
Yes, it's the third quarter, so Bruce must be here. Now, I know McGivern probably gives you softball questions, so should I give you like a really hard stuff like the meaning of life, if I were a tree?
I have no idea what you're talking about right now. I'm just here to enjoy the sports action. That's all, Bob. You're good. You're much better than, I won't say that either.
We'll be kind. We'll be kind. Max on the men. Hey, but on a serious note, why do you, Bruce, and why does Best Electric? Why do you find a relationship with our programming and with high school sports? Why is it so important to you personally?
I've been involved in sports for over probably 45 years, and team sports has been so good to me. I just love it. I enjoy the people I meet. You guys, it's just awesome.
I know when you're working with customers, too, a lot of times they have kids who are doing sports. It's a conversation piece. It's probably a conversation piece and a starter when you're doing business for folks.
You know, I've never, ever taken advantage of this until the last couple of years now. And since I've been involved and put my name and face out there, it's been awesome for business.
Appreciate that business and appreciate you being a part of this. Now, if you were a tree, Bruce, come on. If you were a tree, what would you be?
A limb.
A limb. I can't argue that. The limb is the strongest part. It's one of the strongest parts besides the trunk. You don't want to be a trunk, do you?
No, not at all. Limb is good.
It's Bruce the Limb, guys. Back to you.
Bob and Bruce, thank you so much. A couple of runs by Nayron Love, and it sets up third and short here. Late in this third quarter, King up 7-0. Trying to take advantage of that 29-yard punt return by Cranfield. And Malik Richardson stopped dead in his tracks. Landis Daniel there to make the stop in the Salvation Army red zone. And now another fourth down in the red zone for the King offense.
Daniels filled that hole
he
very
did.
well. He saw that open up and he just stepped right in.
Luke Robinson in there now. Fumble on the exchange, and King will be turned away again in the red zone. 1 for 4 in red zone tonight, and it was Nicholas Hamilton getting in there.
You could see P.J. Meese being a little bit, I don't know if he was pulling out.
And it hit the bottom hand.
Bottom hand.
So Riverside gets it back, second time tonight. Inside the red zone. Under a minute to go here in the third. They'll try and run it up the left side. And across the 25 near the 27-yard line. On the carry for Tigers, that was Cornell Tate, the sophomore. He's seen about a half dozen carries tonight. It's Tobias Jewell. Tate again, and he's wrapped up in the backfield for a loss. Jumping in there for King, LaMarcus Vinson. And that will run out our clock here in the third. We head to the fourth quarter. A close fought battle here tonight. King getting the touchdown late here in the third. Generals up by 7 on our Friday night rivals on My 24.
October brings the rest of the new fall schedule as CW Superheroics indulge
Spencer, how many tackles right now? Ten.
Start of the fourth quarter here tonight from Pulaski Stadium. 7-0 King getting a third quarter touchdown. Nate White running it in. Now Riverside facing a 3rd and 7 here to begin the fourth. They're going to try and keep it here. No place to go for Jewell. Taken down almost immediately. Isaiah Smith, that extra linebacker that they brought in. He's 4th and short, 4th and about 1 here, so we'll see Riverside maybe forced to go for it here.
Yeah, Coach Wagner, along with offensive coordinator Chris Cummings, think that, they need to get themselves moving down the field. They can't turn this ball back to King.
Jewell will take it himself. And a quick pitch to the outside, nothing doing. Might have been a fumble there. Corey Johnson coming in to make the play. It was a late pitch. Let's take another look. Oh, it was right to him. And a loose ball picked up by King inside the 20, so they will start this drive in the Salvation Army red zone. Now can the Generals capitalize here? Love and LeGrant in the backfield. And it's LeGrant in for the touchdown. Marcus LeGrant. Only 10 rushing opportunities coming into the game here tonight. And he adds to the General lead. Marcus LeGrant, the senior.
Well, that elbow injury didn't impede him at all on that one. Shifts the ball to the outside. Well, actually put it back. Started to go to the outside. Brought it back.
Tuna Yang for the extra point. And that one wide left. 13-0 King. 1 minute in to our second half. Well, Riverside rolled the dice, wanted to go for it deep in their own end. Coming up empty on the option play, and then one play later, Marcus LeGrant, his 3rd touchdown of the season.
Well, offensive coordinator Calvin Matthew, was working a number of things in practice on Tuesday, and Coach Matthew is a highly successful coach of the Rufus King girls track team. Won a couple of state titles, runner-up at least once, if not twice. Named Coach of the Year, Track Coach of the Year. And he's been able, you've seen a number of his backs really display that kind of speed. Served him well.
See if the Tigers get a returnable kick here. Off the kick, it rolls inside the 10. Craig back across the 15-yard line. Lano Craig brought down by Bennett Words. Riverside will take possession here at their own 17-yard line, trailing now 13-0. Still plenty of time, but now they may be forced to open it up just a little bit.
Yeah, Bennett Words has made a couple of key tackles tonight. The young men that they added as they put the extra linebacker in and took out the DB, trying to counter King's running attack.
They'll run Tobias Jewell out at quarterback. We have seen a little bit of Jalen Britton tonight throwing the football, but this will be Jewell now. Again, confusion trying to get people lined up here. Tate struggling to find a running room. Not sure if that was set up to be a halfback option or not.
I was trying to read that. One of the things, I was paying attention to is how Rufus King's defense stayed right on that line of scrimmage, shuffled down. People didn't go running upfield. They made sure they closed all those lanes.
Loss of 4 back inside the 15-yard line. The last 4 plays now for Riverside have been negative yards.
Yeah, that front three of Jamison Bonds, K.D. Williamson, and Jaden Johnson doing an excellent job tonight.
Jeremiah Brown, the single receiver here to the near side for Riverside. 2 wideouts to the right. Back judge is counting down. They just get the snap away. Over the middle, it was there, and it's incomplete. Oh, my. Wide open over the middle.
Rufus King overplayed to that wide side of the field. They had that seam right up the hash mark.
3rd and 13. Tigers need to settle themselves down here in the huddle. Yeah, that play was there. Now maybe foul that away a little bit. Come back to that. Come back near side. Well overthrown, incomplete, intended for Jeremiah Brown.
Yeah, Tuna Yang stayed right with him, stride for stride.
Teaching moment here between pupil and coach. They may be forced to take another timeout here. They've taken a long time here on 4th and 13. And they are going to go for it again. And now they'll take their second timeout. Only 1 timeout remaining now for Riverside. They have to put some time back up on the clock. The clock is continuing to roll here.
Clock has stopped.
Yep. Closed captioning tonight brought to you by LifeLock. LifeLock identity theft protection starts here. To put some more time back up on that clock. It was at least 9:40, 9:39, somewhere in that neighborhood. Mukwonago in a tight game against Oconomowoc tonight, 21-18.
Last year, Oconomowoc upset Muskego, trying to repeat history in a sense here.
9:30, I believe, is
9:30.
9.5 minutes. There we go. Now we're set. Fourth down for Riverside, 4th and 13. From their own 13-yard line, forced to go for it here, down 2 scores. Going to go in traffic, and it's going to be intercepted, I believe. Yes, indeed, at the 43-yard line. Tuna Yang with the pick.
Third interception on the year for Tuna. Smart young man, 3.7 GPA. Knew where he had to be.
Dangerous throw. There are 3 King players there. And Tuna Yang comes up with it. Good as a punt there. As King will take over at the 43-yard line. A chance now to put this game out of reach.
As the saying goes, all you need to do is get 3.5 yards per play. Keep her going.
They're on Love. Between the hash and the numerals, down to the 40 of Riverside. Gain of about 3, maybe 4. Time the enemy right now for the King Generals. They'll toss it to White. Touchdown already tonight. Breaks it free. White for the second time tonight. Busts down the front door and into the house.
They had him contained. A couple of arm tackles didn't bring him down. He just put on the Jets. Headed to the end zone.
There is, however, a penalty marker on the play. Would have been a 40-yard touchdown run. We'll see if it stands.
After the play, there's 2 flags on the play, one on each team. Unsportsmanlike conduct. White, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, those penalties offset. The touchdown's good.
So it will hold a 40-yard touchdown run by Nate White. His second touchdown of the night. One more look. A pancake block there on the line. And he stepped out of the waist-high tackle and used that track speed to take it into the end zone. Try for the extra point. This one is up. And this one is good. $20-0 now in favor of Rufus King. Still 8:44 to go here in the ball game, but you've taken Riverside now and made them a one-dimensional team.
Right.
Well, coming up after the game tonight, stay tuned for our United States Marine Corps Player of the Game presentation. That's brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. We have some choices tonight.
We do. Obviously we've seen Nate White do his thing, but Nayron Love has had some big runs. Marcus LeGrant. We've seen number 24 come in there, Malik Robinson, and also have his share. So doing their job.
Kickoff brought to you by Menards. Save big money at Menards. Cranfield will hold for Tuna Yang. It was his interception on 4th down that set up that touchdown drive for King. Again, trouble receiving the kickoff. Craig going to be smothered back inside the 10-yard line. LaMarcus Vincent, the motor.
Nice open field tackle.
Yes, he does. Is there anything this sophomore can't do? Defense, special teams.
We mentioned before, 6'1", 185, excellent size for a sophomore. Good instincts.
From the 10-yard line. This will be Jalen Britton. But again, confusion trying to line up, and Riverside now takes their final timeout. Let's take a look at our hit of the game tonight.
Should we ask the viewers to guess who might be responsible for that?
The man's got 10 tackles tonight, but this was early. Right there, wrapping up the quarterback, P.J. Meese, is our hit of the game. Asiatic Spencer, leading tackler of the game tonight with 10. Our hit of the game brought to you by the Milwaukee Admirals. Now you're really hamstrung here. 8.5 minutes to go. You're out of timeouts. You're down 3 scores.
I think one of the things Coach Wagner is trying to do here is, even if they lose this game, they know they can get to that 4-win mark, get into the playoffs. So what you have to do is you have to establish an offensive identity. They need to have something to build upon.
Yeah, they have Milwaukee Reagan on their schedule next week, and then it's the Week 9 crossover game with the Blackburn Conference. Coming back near side, a lot of air underneath it. Was it Tuna Yang again? Oh my gosh. No signal yet. It is indeed King Ball, Tuna Yang, his second pick of the game.
I wonder if he wrestled that ball away from the receiver.
I would like to see the replay there. I think he did, Coach. Both going after it.
He took it away from him as he was falling down.
It was a one-arm catch taken away from Jeremiah Brown. Second interception tonight by Yang.
Gives him 4 on the year.
Yes, Nayron Love on the carry, and now King. One more look here at this pick here by Tuna Yang. He did do it one arm. Gotta love it. Put that one up on the national highlights.
Took it right away from Jeremiah Brown.
Yes, he did. Second down 9 for the Generals, just inside the Salvation Army red zone. White looking for his third touchdown tonight, takes it inside the 15. Tobias Jewell with the tackle. He's got 5 tackles on the defensive side tonight for Riverside.
Yeah, Riverside, their struggles offensively has put their defense kind of in a hole here. King has been trying to break some of those tendencies of giving the ball so often to White.
Good job here by P.J. Meese. He's looking at the back judge.
They're going to say the right guard. I think they're going to say move.
Little head bob. That will stop the clock here on King.
Prior to the snap, false start. Offense. That's a 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
Takes him out of 3rd and 4, makes it a 3rd and 9.
Yeah, the number of penalties King has had down in the red zone, something they need to clean up moving forward.
So 3rd and 9, just inside the 20-yard line. They're going to roll the quarterback out. In trouble. Down he goes at the 30. Sack for the Riverside defense. Jaden Pickett moved from defensive end to safety this season. Was first team all-conference on the defensive line with the sack. Good job keeping his feet. So many times you want to leap out at that quarterback, you lose containment leaving your feet. So 4th and about 20 here. Meese rolls left, throws right to Nate White. With some running room, Nate White. Hello, 3rd touchdown tonight.
A play that probably should have been stopped in terms of the defense with White's speed.
The Badger recruit with 3 trips to the house tonight. This one on a pass reception.
Got a good block there from number 59. Jamison Bonds, the sophomore.
Tuna Yang for the extra point. This one is good. 27-0 King. We will step out. We will take our break back to Pulaski Stadium. Right after this, this is the Heiser Automotive Group Friday Night Rivals presented by Landmark Credit Union. Between justice and revenge lies a town full of colorful characters with their own agendas. Venture into the Old West with new rules. Deepen the Walker legacy and saddle up for the new series Walker Independence. That's Thursday night at 8 on CW 18. 3 touchdowns tonight by senior Nate White. And King in good position to pick up their 4th conference win and gain playoff eligibility as Yang with our Menards kickoff. Hauled in by Landis Daniels, and he'll get it out across the 30-yard line. Brought down by Bennett Words tonight. He's had a good night on special teams. Well, King right now, they have one more Richardson Division game against Bradley Tech. Tech going into this weekend 0-4 in the conference. So then that'll be next week on October 8th, and then the following week, the crossover game.
Still have to see who emerges on that side.
Tobias Jewell back in at quarterback. And we got a flag before the snap.
Prior to the snap, line up in the neutral zone, encroachment, defense. That's a 5-yard penalty, still first down.
Coach Wozniak's going to have a nice film session tomorrow, and he's going to have to talk to these guys about the penalties. You might get yourself playoff eligible, but you're not going to get deep. You keep making mistakes like that. 1st and 5. Quick pass up the middle in traffic. Catch is made. Marco Sabalos there to make the catch. Going to be about a yard shy, perhaps, of a first down. The officials might want to take a look at it. Oh. They'll give him the first down. We'll get the chains reset, and then we'll start the clock from there.
Well, defensive coordinator Steve Brusky switching from a 3-4 tonight to this 3-3-5 look, having that extra linebacker in the middle has really helped them put the pressure on.
In trouble, gets it away, but the receiver fell down. Sabalos, the intended target. The blitz was coming, and Jewell had to get rid of it. Incidentally, that best electric service first down here by Riverside. Their first, I believe, of the second half. Don't forget, we'll have our player of the game coming up following the game. Also the championship trophy presentation. We're going to put Bob Brainerd in that group tonight. We'll see how he handles it.
See if he survives.
That's right. That's right.
It's like a mosh pit. He remembers those from college.
2nd and 10. Bob in for the ailing Mike McGivern. In trouble, and will throw it away. Incomplete. And again, that new rule this year in high school football. The quarterback chased outside the tackle box can throw it away without an intentional grounding call.
Perfect example of that new rule, and gives some options to that quarterback.
Long overdue. I think that's a good rule.
Yeah, and it takes a lot of pressure off the officials too. And I think that's excellent. They've got a difficult job to do. This is, and so if you can find something so it takes away a little bit of that judgment from them, that's good. It's more cut and dry.
Well, college and the pros, you've got 8, 9 officials out there. In high school, you only got 5.
And they're having a difficult time finding 5.
You got that right. 3rd and 10 facing Riverside here from their own 44. Showing blitz. Here they come. They get it away. Brown with a catch. Out of bounds at midfield. Short of the first down. Tuna Yang and Malik Robinson both there. Yang has had quite the game. If you're just joining us, a pair of interceptions here in the second half and 2 pass defended tonight. To go with 3 tackles.
And he's kicking.
And he does the kicking, yes. Clock stopped, 4:36 to play. Riverside facing a 4th and 2 from the King 48. They are forced to go for it here. This will be Jewell. You'll have 2 receivers to the right, single back. Gets it away, over the middle, completes the pass. Inside the 20, ball is stripped out. And it's picked up by Cranfield. Down the far sideline. Third turnover of the half. I think it was White who may have stripped the ball. Teams had 4 or 5 opportunities there to pick it up, and finally it was Ian Cranfield. It was White on the strip. Now watch this. 1, 2, 3. And then Cranfield had it rolled right to him.
Marco Sabalas caught up to him and prevented it from going all the way with a fumble recovery for a score.
3 takeaways by the King defense here in the second half. They'll try and run it up the middle, but they had 10 in the box that time. Trying to stop Marcus LeGrant. It was Christopher Pierce making the tackle for Riverside. No gain. Well, we mentioned Riverside needs to regroup. They'll take on Milwaukee Reagan next week. I think that's a Thursday game, I think, next week for them. And then they will play their crossover game the final week of the regular season. First carry of the night tonight. Callaway. Jordan Lemon there to make the tackle. So third, about 5 here for King from the Riverside 46. Again, PJ Meese doing a good job here of checking with the back judge before getting in under center. Again, just looking to stay in play. And is Daniels there to make the tackle? Bringing up 4th down. Well, last week King marched up and down the field but couldn't put any points on the board. Tonight the Generals put it together here in the second half after a scoreless first half. 27 unanswered here in the second frame. They'll go for it here on 4th and 5. Actually, they will punt here. Cranfield recovered that fumble, gets it away. Inside the 20, beautifully placed punt. Rolls dead at the 14. So, minute 18 to go. The formality of this yet to be completed here, but King will go to 4-1 in the league. They'll join Milwaukee Hamilton atop the Richardson division. Riverside will fall to 3-2. Again, still opportunity ahead for Riverside to get playoff eligible. They will take on Milwaukee Reagan next week. Meanwhile, for King, it's a game against Bradley Tech. And then both teams will face the crossover matchup between the two divisions on October 14th. Really, this Southeast Wisconsin kind of watching how this city conference shapes up, because that's going to have some bearing on Divisions 1, 2, and 3 as far as what teams become playoff eligible.
Yeah, some of the largest schools that are typically D1 are with the Milwaukee Public School League. And so, you know, what happens in there has a spillover effect. And so everybody's going to be watching that the next couple of weeks. And the night after that last game, coaches are staying up rather late.
That's why you get to those 4 conference wins. You can sleep a little better. That last.
But you're always wondering, who do we have?
I suppose.
You focus on the now, but in the back of your mind, you do have to start making some preparations. And last year, how things worked out, the fact that you saw Franklin go north up towards Oshkosh and Appleton, and you have Mesquite go down here, McWanago, Arrowhead. How does this all play out?
How about that dominating win by Oak Creek last week over Franklin? Wow.
But Oak Creek's struggling a little bit tonight with Racine Case.
Yes, they are.
And the last we heard, Oconomowoc was ahead of McWanago.
Is it Lee Corso? Not so fast, my friend.
Yes.
First and 10, Riverside from their 14. Jewell tries to throw it out here to the near side, incomplete. Looking for Cornell Tate.
Bennett Words out there on the coverage. Done a very nice job tonight.
Riverside's kind of got to reel this one in now. They've got to regroup, get back, as you said, try and come up with their offensive identity. Are they going to be a passing team? Are they going to be a running team? Are they going to have to combination, maybe run a little of that read option? They're going to have to do some things here to straighten out their offensive woes here tonight after coming off back-to-back shutout victories over Bradley Tech and Bayview. On the verge of being shut out here tonight as Tate comes up with the catch. Stayed short of the first down, and the clock continues to roll. Riverside out of timeouts.
I don't know if Rufus King came into the game expecting that they could pitch a shutout, but their defense has done very well. Tuna Yang with those takeaways.
Well, for King, this would be their 5th shutout of the season. Make it their 4th shutout of the season, and it's picked off here on the near side. Their 4th takeaway of the half, Malik Robinson. 3 picks and a fumble recovery tonight for the King defense. And that puts a cap on this one here tonight. Trying to air it out, going to come right into your living room, and pass intended for Jaden Pickett. Malik Robinson able to pick that one off. Now if you're a football coach, this is the formation you like to see.
Right.
Take a knee. And for the 3rd time in the last 4 years, King will take down Riverside.
Might be the most spread out victory formation I've ever seen.
But he got it done.
Doesn't matter.
And King gets playoff eligible with the win here tonight. Their 4th conference win. They get to 5-2, 3-1, or 4-1, I should say, in conference. Riverside now 3-2 in the Richardson, 3-4 on the season. Teams will walk the 50-yard line for the handshake. A smiling Tom Wozniak leading his Generals through the handshake line as they score 27 second-half points en route to a 27-0 victory over Riverside. We will step out We will be back with our post-game celebrations, including our player of the game presented by the United States Marine Corps and our Champions Trophy presentation. King over Riverside tonight on the Heiser Automotive Group Friday Night Rivals presented by Landmark Credit Union. King Generals with 27 second-half points en route to a 27-0 victory over Riverside tonight. They get 4 takeaways in this second half, 3 picks, a fumble recovery, 2 of those picks by Tuna Yang tonight. But tell you what, it was Nate White on the ground tonight and in the air. 3 touchdowns total. We'll head downstairs to Bob Brainerd with our United States Marine Corps player of the game.
All right, thank you very much, guys. Nate, scoreless in the first half. What happened? How did the offense get back on track, give you opportunity to get in the end zone 3 times?
Yeah, it took us a while to get started in the beginning. You know, we all had to take a break at halftime, get our heads together, and make the adjustments we needed to. And then we all could come together as an offense and really push for the final half or the second half. What
might be the most impressive is the 0 on the scoreboard. Give a shout out to the defense tonight because they gave you the opportunity to get the offense on track.
Yeah, we love our defense. Our defense they've been strong the whole season. They've been helping us a lot throughout the whole season. So we're really appreciative of them.
How jacked up were you guys as a unit to play Riverside? I know this is always a big game, but this really had a lot of meaning because both teams had something to play for tonight.
Yeah, so we came into this game we were last week. You know, we had a tough loss. So after that, we just had to get our minds ready for Riverside. We know we had a big week. So we were just locked in all week, came in for extra film and walkthroughs today, and we were just ready.
I tell you what, young man, I know where you're going next, okay? Yeah. But the focus that you are showing on this football team, on your senior season, it's only in one place, isn't it?
Yeah, it's here. It's here right now. That's what I think is. I'm here right now, so I got to play right now. That's all I can think about right now.
You keep it right there. All right, from Nate Blackwell to Nate White, our Marine player of the game.
Yeah, hey, real leaders emerge when the battle's at its ugliest. Set the example and take their team to victory, and that was you tonight. So congratulations.
Let's go, Nate.
Let's go, Nate. All right, for highlights, we send it back to the guys upstairs.
Bob, thank you. And what a highlight package we've got for Mr. White tonight. 20 carries, 141 yards, and a pair of rushing touchdowns. There's touchdown number 1 here in the second half. this is touchdown number 2, probably the most impressive.
Stepped out of that tackle and just took off.
But we're not done. He caught one pass tonight. And he made the defensive play, stripping the ball, leading to one of 4 takeaways by the defense tonight. So Nate White, 20 carries, 141 yards, 2 touchdowns.
That little pass out in the flat.
And his 1 reception, good for a 30-yard touchdown scamper as King pitches their 4th shutout of the season, defeating Riverside 27-0. Our player of the game brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. Once again, we go down to Bob, our Champions Trophy presentation.
There it is. To the victor go the spoils. It's time to hand the hardware off to head coach Tom Wozniak. Tom, just talking to Nate, and scoreless first half, but second half, really the team effort, because the offense gets on track and the defense keeps pitching the shutout.
Yeah, absolutely. You're right. It was a total team effort, and all credit goes to these guys that are behind you.
What was the adjustment from first half to second half? Defense, kept doing the job, but how did the offense get on track in the second half?
Well, we had some long drives. We kind of shot ourselves in the foot a couple times in that first half, and weren't able to kind of bounce back once we had a penalty or play in the backfield or whatever, and just didn't happen in the second half. So, again, all credit to these guys behind you.
I'll tell you what, you guys are playoff eligible, and I know that rings loud to not only players but coaches, because it means week 9 means to you we're not done playing football.
Oh, absolutely. But you know what? We're really just going to be focused on next week.
Typical coach, right? Coach, congratulations. Okay, guys, on the count of 3, I get out of here, and then you can do your thing. 1, 2, 3.
Hey, hold on.
Bob didn't want any part of that mosh pit. Mike would have stood in there.
Mike knows how to, blend into that group.
We'll step out, take our final break. A final word from Pulaski Stadium when we return here on My 24.